What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race.
Alright, Diesel Heads, it's episode 7 of the Chronicles of Diesel, a monthly show where we take a chronological survey through Vin Diesel's filmography. My name is Ethan. With me here today is Devin.
It's your fucking lucky day, Bob.
Did Vin Diesel say that?
No. It's just a quote from the movie we're reviewing. There's no like juicy Vin quotes in this. I was like, oh, that's the one. So I was like, you know what? I like that one.
I would have figured you would have gotten with the potato chip guy gets paid when he goes through that line.
Yeah, I guess. I just like that one. But there's ones when I first hear it, I'm like, this is the one. Like this. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care what happens unless it's something crazy. But
it's fair. But yes, that quote, I guess, was from Knockaround Guys, the 2002 Vin Diesel film, where he's not the main character, but he's one of the guys.
He's one of the Knockaround Guys.
He's no, it's not technically one of the Knockaround Guys, but I guess it's weird. We'll get there. But yes, this is a 2002 film that we thought was a 2001 film, but you know what? It came out in 2001 at the Oldenburg International Film Festival, and so technically, if we go by that date, it was the next film. Before we go back in time to 2002 to talk about today's topic, we want to go to last month and see if anything has happened in the world of Vin Diesel. Has he posted any juicy pics of stuff that fans have photoshopped for him? Has he said more things about films that may or may not even happen?
That's right. I'm your news hound. This is a light month, or so I thought. Remember last month where I was like, oh boy, I don't really got anything. Just got Instagram posts, and then we had breaking news. Remember that?
Yes.
It was like within the hour. Well, guess what? I've been saved again by Vin himself, where I was like, dude, he has like one post on Instagram, and there's no news that I could find. And I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? And then literally an hour before we recorded or sat down to talk here, I was like, let me just search one more time. And boom, I was saved by Vin himself. But before we get there, I'm going to tell you what his one post was. It was just, he's posted this picture before, a Photoshop of him and Paul Walker, and he just says always. That was 1 week ago. And that's his traditional stuff you'll see on his Instagram. I get most of the news from Instagram. He does have a Twitter, but it's not very active. He tweets there maybe once every...
It's more for like to promote the movie season, right?
Yeah, he last post on Twitter was February 7th. Until today. And it actually goes with what he posts on Instagram. And it is verified, by the way, because I thought for a second, like, is this a fake Vin Diesel account? No, this is legit. Because he only has 330.4K followers on Twitter. And you're probably like, well, that's a lot, Devin. Well, if you're new to the show, it's not a lot compared to what he has on Instagram. I've been tracking this since the last 3 months. 3 months ago, he was at 65 million followers on the dot. Then he went up to 65.3. And this month, he's at 65.9. He's about to hit 66K. So we got to cheer him on. If you're not following him, go follow. We got to get him to 66K.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
I'm not following him.
You better.
I got to change. I got to re-download Instagram just to bump that number.
Yeah, let's do it. Like the whole sub to PewDiePie thing? We need to do that for Vin Diesel.
Can it not be like a thing someone shouts as they kill a bunch of people?
Yes, of course. Obviously. Yeah. Vin's all about love. We know this. It's before you hug someone. Right before you hug someone, just be like, go follow Vin Diesel on Instagram. Like, just whisper that in their ear while you're hugging them, embracing them.
I had forgotten all about that PewDiePie thing. So thanks for bringing that nightmare back up.
You're welcome. So yeah, Vin Diesel's followers went up a little bit. It's always good news, I think, for the Vin world. If you're a Vin fan,
it's not going down.
It's not going down. It ain't never going down unless he comes out he's like a bad person, which I don't think will ever happen because he's just too, he's too wholesome to ever do anything wrong. Anyways, that is not the big news. Like I said, we have breaking news again. I've been saved by Vin Diesel, and the big news is. On Instagram, he posted where I first saw it. He posted a picture of him with like a Photoshop filter of bricks, but he's like made of bricks or something.
Okay.
Classic Vin. And he just wrote, this is 5 hours ago. For so long, I've been promising to release music, ...
Oh, no.
Encouraged by you to step out of my comfort zone. Thank you for believing in me. As always, I hope to make you proud. And he actually did, I think there was like a little tag in the post, not in the post, but in the picture itself of who made the art for them. So at least he's giving them cred.
So he's finally actually crediting the fans that do the Photoshop.
Yes, it looks like it. And then the top comment is definitely a bot. It's a girl with a thong, and it says, "All day without news from my lover. What should I do?" Anyways, I just like to read one of the top comments.
Oh, okay. You said that as if that was like a part of the thing, and then anyways, let's move on.
And I was like, okay, new music. Like, we knew this since last week that he said he was going to go do the final touches. He was on his way.
Last month.
But we thought, like, okay, he's doing finishing touches, but we're no way we're hearing this until maybe, like, December. We joked about a Christmas album.
Did he drop a track?
Well, according to Twitter, he posted on Twitter this 5 hours, so around the same time. So he wrote Friday, KYGO. I don't know what that means. Stay tunes, period. Grateful and blessed, period. And a picture of him, like it's like a half selfie, and it says on the right, Vin Diesel, feel like I do. And it looks like a single cover, like a cover to a single. And it says, like I said, it said Friday. So I think this Friday. So after it's gonna,
which is tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow. So before
we're gonna have to like re-record a section to add on to this episode because we need to have opinions on that.
Yes. So this Friday, I guess It sounds like he's dropping a track, but I don't know why he didn't say that on Instagram. So maybe we have some conflicting information from him. But it sounds like this Friday means tomorrow. I don't know if that means at midnight our time or late Friday. I don't know, but
I guess we'll find out.
But to be sure, since the news hound is only getting better at his job as he does this more and more often.
Once a month he looks at Instagram. But yes.
I'm like, you know what? Let me go look him up on Spotify. Right? Let's look up Vin Diesel. He already has an account. He has an account, and I followed him, so I should get an alert when the song drops. And he also has one song on there that I didn't know about from January.
What?
Yes, he was a feature on a song or on a single called "Chronicles Now" remix. It's by Alpha Setch and Lil Pump, our Lord and Savior. Lil Pump,
not mine. But
Gucci Gang, you know. And he did a song with them. So I listened to it because I'm like, I think I need to know more context. Maybe this is going to give us a hint of what we're jumping into. And he's not singing in this, sadly. We did get some singing in that one ad I found last week. So if you want to hear him sing, you have to go find.
What's he doing in the song then?
It's like him speaking Spanish. And then I had, I know this is a whole story. That's what I'm saying. This story just keeps developing. So I listened to the song twice, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't know Spanish. He's saying stuff in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. But I'm like, oh, I have a girlfriend who knows Spanish, and it can understand it. So I had her listen to it and translate for me. Basically, what he's saying is, do you understand me? Fuck you. He does say fuck you in English.
Okay.
I noticed that, and I'm like, what is he saying before that? I need to know the context. And he says, do you understand me? And the answer is, Vin, no, I don't understand you. Because you're speaking Spanish. I'm sorry. My bad. But, like, it's him saying, do you understand me? Fuck you. And, like, around the first, like, 15 seconds of the song, then he's kind of remixed, like, almost like a beat in a way at some points. And that's pretty much all he says. But I guess the song as a whole is about a woman and putting a crown on her. Chrono means crown. So the song is like Crown Now. Talks loosely about a girl, but also talks about having a nice car and juiced up. So I'm like, okay, it sounds like Vin Diesel right there. But so I don't know if that's what we're going to be getting. I don't think we're going to get Lil Pump in his album or single that he's dropping, but I'm curious to what kind of music we're going to get.
Now, do you think he wrote the music though?
I think he is. I have a good feeling that he wrote it himself. I know he's done some karaoke.
Let's make a prediction.
Okay.
What's the lead instrument?
The lead instrument?
I'm thinking piano. If it's not like a hip hop thing.
You think it's going to be a soft... I think it's going to be not a banger, but it's going to be pop. Like, it's going to be I think it's going to be a very, like, cheesy, like, pop beat. Like, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's just going to be like a Katy Perry
See, what I see from
beat.
him is more of a soft, not necessarily soulful, but a soft Like,
Yeah,
especially with
that.
that title. If that is the title,
I just
I mean,
imagine
that's what
like
his
I'm
Spotify
imagining-
artist picture
I'm
is.
imagining like a Pharrell Williams kind of.
I don't think he's got the talent to do that. But hey, we might be proven wrong.
We thought we had a lot of assumptions about Vin. All right, and
That is very true.
our minds are always being blown with Vin every month. So, but yeah, that is all the news I got.
If this music did indeed happen on Friday the 24th, then I believe we're going to talk about it right now. So it turns out he did release this song the next day, and we're here from the future, and we want to react to Feel Like I Do. No, not said like that, more like Feel Like I Do.
Feel like
The
I
new
do.
song by Vin Diesel. But see, in the lyrics, he says feels like I do. You know what I mean? He
Hey,
says feels.
That's fine. Feel like I do.
And it's feel.
Lyrics don't have to match the title.
No, it's true. It's true. Otherwise, the credits would have to roll halfway through. But imagine that if songs had credits. Or like,
I mean, I guess like in the if you buy
but
it
like
on
no, like
CD,
the
it has
last 10 seconds of the song were like spoken credits.
like a bot comes in. It's like this song was brought to you by Sony.
Or like, if you ever listen to an audiobook, like I listened to the Golden Compass, that trilogy or whatever, and like at the very end, like a woman comes in and she says like this was played by this person, this was played by this person, it was recorded in the blank
Vin
studio
Diesel
in London.
uses
Yeah, hella auto tune this whole time.
Vin Diesel uses the Akai MPK Mini.
What do we think about this?
Well, I just want to say one thing. I was right, by the way.
You were more right than I was, for sure.
I was like, it's going to be a cheesy pop beat. I was a little off in the cheese because the cheese was going more towards the beach
like a soulful
pop
kind of side.
Beach pop, like where the chorus is mostly just it's just like that, and then like it's just a dude saying a line over it, and like that's not saying it's bad. It's just super easy. Like,
I mean, you were thinking Pharrell Williams, which, to be
Yes.
fair, is something I could easily see too. I was really hoping that it would be like him playing piano and singing a song. That's what I was hoping.
that's on the full album.
Yeah, but
He did
that's
say
definitely not the
he
one.
made it seem like this is multiple, so this could be a single for a future album. Like
It's
I said,
true.
Christmas album.
It's true.
But yeah, I right when I heard the beat, I'm like, yes, I knew it. This guy's way too wholesome to not just do a 3-minute, like, I'm at the beach, I'm not really listening, I just need something in the background while I'm partying
Yeah.
with my friends vibe.
Well, I mean, this also fills that role too.
like this, I'm
Let's
like,
be
I
real.
can taste the Corona. All right, that he,
Yeah, exactly. This
Like-
is to me. You're still on the beach,
yeah,
but it's the sun has just set, and there's
yeah.
a fire. You have a campfire, and everyone's
Bonfire.
drinking Coronas.
yeah.
I
I have
on
sand
the
between
beach.
my toes. You know, it's
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
know.
little buzzed, a little buzz.
Someone had to stand up and shake the sand out of their chair and put it back down. But yeah, you're all just still, feel like I do. I like.
How much you want to bet this song's going to be in Fast and Furious next year? Like
I don't
it's
necessarily
going to
think
be like a
this
little
song will.
might be on the
but
background or something. Someone's listening to it.
I just, by the way, when Corona first hit, when the COVID-19 virus pandemic, which is a actual serious thing we need
Years
to take
ago when
seriously,
it hit, yes.
which feels like it when it first started, and all these movies were jumping ship. We were like, what? Why the fuck? What? Wow, Bond is now in like the fall, and Wonder Woman's now in like August, and but like Disney's smart because they're not going to move Black Widow. And I remember thinking like, wow, like Universal is like they didn't need to push Fast and Furious 9 to next year. No, it turns out that was the smartest move out of every single one of them was for Fast and Furious of like, let's just wait a year. Our next fiscal year we can put this in there. But that gives them the time to like, okay, well, we have a year to sit on this movie. Do we want to put more money into it? Can we make this even better? Because we obviously as creators think it's going to be great. I can see them being to Vin like, all right, we know for the past few months now you've been working on your musical career. Do you want to Will Smith this and like we could put a song of yours in the credits? You want to make a song for Fast and Furious 9? Maybe he already did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be kicking it off, like, oh, he's
Like I said,
But
I can see
I don't know
this
if
being
this
in the
song could
car,
be.
like the one they're talking in the car, like the music's super low. But you can, if you know what this song is, you'll know it, recognize it right away. But if not, it just sounds like something playing on the radio.
See, this is how I hope the scene works. Is that Han is back.
Of course,
And they're in a garage, as the family often is. And they're making their plan about something, because John Cena's in the movie, and maybe Sylvester Stallone is too, who knows. And I guess they're bad guys, maybe that's the way it is. And they're making plans, and I don't know if the trailer showed them being revealed to Han or whatever, but like, let's just pretend that they're all in the garage, and Han rolls in with his car. And he rolls down the window, and the song is playing.
For like 5 seconds. Yeah.
But then he's like, this song fucking sucks, and he turns it off.
That would be
and it's like a nod to like, you know what I mean? Like, not only obviously are we using a Vin Diesel song, but we're gonna fucking roast him for it too.
Damn. I don't know if they'll do that. I think if it's gonna be anything, it's gonna be like I said, during a conversation where it's super faint, where you really won't pick up on it unless you're like totally like looking for it, or it's gonna be something where he pulls in, he rolls down the window, you hear it for like 3 seconds, and they're like, "What? I can't hear you," and then he turns it off. He's like, "Oh, how's it going, guys? I'm alive."
I mean, I guess to also be fair, this franchise has Ludacris and Tyrese in it. So
yeah,
maybe one of them gets to go first. But...
That'd be hilarious if they don't get any of their stuff. It's just Vin.
It's Vin Diesel. No, I think Ludacris and Little Bow Wow was in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
By the
way, I did look up like more info about this, and I did see that the label is Racetrack Inc. in Palm Tree Records, and I couldn't find anything on Racetrack Inc. So I wonder if he made a label.
I'm sure it's based off One Race, his movie production studio.
So what I'm saying is Sonic Movie Show / Chronicles of Diesel needs to get in on this label.
Shit, we can be the official podcast of Racetrack.
Racetrack.
Now it is like
Sonic Movie Show is dead.
Sony,
Racetrack podcast is the new hit thing.
It's still like a division of Sony Records or something though.
Yeah, Sony Music Entertainment. Yeah.
But I don't know, what do we think about the song itself? In my opinion, I think it's a very positive okay.
I think it's all right. Like I said, if I was at the beach and I don't want anyone really to pay attention to what I'm playing, I'm just gonna throw this on and it's definitely just feel good like beach music to me. Where it's like I don't hate it. It ain't my thing personally. Yeah. I don't think it's super safe. There's nothing like groundbreaking here where I'm just like, holy, whoa, Vin, like what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, okay.
I don't want us to call it generic, but it's using the same generic elements that you would find in an Ellie Goulding B-side or something like that. Yeah. Of like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't like. Did you see the Kelly Clarkson video?
No, I don't. No.
Well, you know how all these talk shows often get a new band or whatever to play their single? The Kelly Clarkson talk show played this.
Oh.
And obviously we're all in work from home mode, so there is no live audience. The Kelly Clarkson show is obviously doing like an empty like set, but instead of having like no one in the audience, they have all these TV monitors turned 90 degrees so they're vertical, and they have virtual people.
So
they have
people. Screenshot of that. I just didn't really like look into it.
It's just like you can zoom in and watch Kelly Clarkson, and all these people like pretending that they care about this song and be kind of like swaying a bit as if like they're having a good time, because I don't know the culture of people that really want to get in fucking Kelly Ripa's show or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, he's way too excited to be on fucking, I mean, the only person I would ever want to be on would be Steve Harvey's show, just because he's funny to exist. You know what I mean? But like, people are so excited to get on Kelly Clarkson, and just to see these people like, okay, yep, it's Vin Diesel. That's the kind of the vibe I had after this. I'm like, I don't know if I ever would want to listen to this again.
I liked it just to support the cause. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's super safe and like kind of generic. But if that's what he was going for, he did it. So I'm not gonna
be fair. Yeah,
if you executed your plan, he did it. He didn't ground break the music industry where he's like, oh shit, this is a new genre, or like this is, wow, he did a crazy like time signature. That's weird. It's cool.
Right. Yeah. To be fair, too, I guess he also didn't come out like and hype this shit for months. Like, we only found out about it because you looked on his Instagram like once a month. Yeah, like, oh yeah, I guess he's doing something.
It'd be different if he had like a bunch of promos for it, being like, "I'm ready to like this is the next part of my career, next part of my life." Like, it's just like, hey, I'm doing this on the side, so like, cool, good for you. I can't really like hate on like of just exploring what you can do creatively. So I'm just like, you do, Vin. Proud of you.
Yeah. What's his next song going to be like? Can we predict this now?
Well, that's the thing is, like, if this is from an album, I think it's all gonna be like this. I'd be shocked if it's like, okay, he's doing funk now or something like
But
that.
I can also see that as like, this is an actor just being experimental, just doing a bunch of crazy shit. I can also see that too. But I also
Is he
now
gonna
just
pull
realized
a Hawkeye and make an app?
I still have that app downloaded because I think if I delete it, it goes away forever.
He did music too. Remember?
Yeah.
This is the same. This might be the same timeline.
A dark timeline, but
Dark
a timeline
timeline.
nonetheless. But you know what I just realized? So if he does come out with an album,
Yeah.
in 5 years, that'll have to be an episode of the Chronicles of Diesel.
We have to like do a full in-depth analysis, break
On
down
the
lyrics
fucking
and
album.
stuff.
Yep. If we're doing that for the fucking games and new movies coming out, if we're adding them to the list for another 3 years, the album's got to go on there too.
I think that's.
I think
we got to agree on that.
I am hoping he does do an album, and it's just the song. Any singles he does along the way are just in there, so we don't have to like pepper these in to other episodes.
Hey, on this week of the Chronicles of Diesel, we're covering "Feel Like I Do,"
as well as Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might do a music video too. Who knows? There's many possibilities here, but yeah, I think it might be I don't think he'll do an album, but I think he'll do an EP within the next like 6 months. That'd be my guess.
That's what I'm hoping, and I still hope he does a Christmas album.
Christmas album would be banging. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think it's been enough time here in the future. Let's go back in the past with more Chronicles of Diesel. That was great, future us, if that did happen. Not great if it didn't happen. Let's go back in time now to 2001
Great year.
at the Oldenburg International Film Festival.
Where is
aired.
that? Do you know?
It sounds like it's in Europe.
It does sound like maybe an English.
I don't know.
English.
But at the same time, like, okay, so budget of $15 million, box office of $14 million.
Are you serious? Bro, that sucks. You couldn't even break even. That's less money than what the remake of Justice League is getting. The Snyder Cut.
Which is apparently $70 million now.
That's insane.
Because I guess, the dude that sucks ass wants more money to spend on his suck ass film that I still actually want to see because I'm super interested. In any case, this film, Knockaround Guys, finished filming and complete total production on this film was finished in 1999. And they sat on it for 2 years.
Damn.
One of the main reasons was they didn't know how to market the film because their leads were all little to no name actors, which I don't understand. At this point, 2 of them have been in Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, I mean, they're not major roles, but you can be like, you could use that somehow, you know what I mean?
They could have easily just lied and advertised with, what's his name there? Dennis Hopper and
I mean, John Malkovich is in the movie.
Yeah, I mean there's there's a lot of like for the time like pretty big people. Like you could just lie and say they're in it. They're not in it that least amount of times that like you can't.
Yeah,
I think you could bend it, be like, yeah,
but
John Malkovich is in this.
So after Fast and Furious 1 came out, they decided, okay, we can market around Vin Diesel. We can do that. And then Triple X, which is our next episode, like came out after this aired in the film festival, which is the reason why this episode is now. Then they said, okay, yes, for sure, we're definitely doing the Vin Diesel stuff. So after this film festival, Triple X would come out, and then they would release it in theaters proper. That's why this movie only got $14 million.
Funny that like they're advertising it as a Vin Diesel film when he is not the main character. If anything, he's like kind of just there at moments. So that's interesting.
Yeah, but at the same time, we'll get to it. But it ends, and he's Dominic Toretto. all the things I don't like about Dominic Toretto. So we'll get there. But directed by Brian Koppelman and David Levin, and produced by the 2 of them as well as Lawrence Bender. This film came out. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let's yeah.
So they were staying on this movie for 2 years. So was this? around when he was doing Saving Private Ryan then, right? It'd have to be.
Saving Private Ryan released in 98 and was obviously not filmed in 98. So I would say there's at least a year in between. This was just another thing that he auditioned for and got. Now, his character was based off of someone that the writers were friends with, I guess.
Interesting.
But, like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, they sought him out, so.
Also, is this the... No, there was a gap. I was going to say, is this the third movie in a row where he's worked with someone else from Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, no one in Fast and Furious. And no one was in Pitch Black either.
Yeah. I forget we
Right.
did those. I'm just thinking about Boiler Room.
And those are, like, the big movies.
Or not Boiler
But,
Room.
to be honest, I mean... No, you are thinking about Boiler Room.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and this would have been filmed probably along those lines as well.
This definitely
It's
feels like a
interesting.
Boiler Room era. Like when
Yeah.
I'm like, are these like? He honestly could have put these back to back, and I'm like, yeah, same director.
Apparently,
Not
the
director,
car
but
that
just,
they
like,
rent... Apparently, the car they rent was like a Jeep Grand Cherokee or something like that like got completely recalled. So in the 2 years, during the 2 years that it was, the film was sitting on a shelf, the car they drove was recalled, and so like it was used in like so much, I guess, product placement, I guess, and you couldn't buy it. Which is interesting.
That sucks.
But let's actually start a recap of the film Knockaround Guys. After a swanky tune and the New Line Cinema logo, we're in 1987.
Great year.
We see a couple of men in a car with a kid roll up to a restaurant. The young boy is called Matty by Teddy Deserve, played by John Malkovich, who tells him he needs to be tough as nails, since the guy in that building put his father in prison. Heading downstairs to a food storage room chock full of red bell peppers, garlic, and tomatoes, sitting in baskets next to a deli slicer, we meet the tied-up that's where I paused it.
I like how you wrote all that down. It's very
I'm
important
like,
to the plot.
Do we need a basket full of garlic
Hey, vampires, dude.
on a table next to...
It's the 80s, dude. You saw Lost Boys.
Whatever.
They were vampires, right? Or were they werewolves? I forgot.
The Lost Boys?
Yeah. That's an 80s movie.
I think we're thinking about different movies. I don't think there were any vampires in The Lost Boys. Anyway, tied up in a chair is Bobby Boulevard, who Maddie recognizes.
Vampires. I looked it up. The Lost Boys.
There
Vampires.
were vampires in... I must have just been a while.
That was 1987 release date. It came out when this movie supposedly takes place. There you go. There's vampires. Confirmed.
Okay, fine. I guess it's canon. Teddy hands Maddie a gun, and Bobby calmly begs for his life. Upset at Maddie's hesitation, Teddy walks over and cuts out Bobby's tongue. Maddie chooses not to shoot Bobby, and Teddy tells Maddie that it's okay. It is okay that this life is not for him. Maddie is handed a quarter and ushered outside, and is told that they're going to move Bobby out of town, but we hear Bobby getting shot anyways. So, I wrote this twice. I had to rewrite this, because as I am watching the movie, I'm taking these notes, and I'm preemptively being like, okay, who's the actor? I'm going to say his name now, even though the character's name now, even though they're not said, because, you know, it's going to pop up later. It's just easy for the recap, right? I'm already, like, writing it in, like, I kind of know what's going to happen next, so I'm going to phrase it leading up to that. I assumed, and maybe I'm wrong here, maybe you don't feel the same way, I thought this whole thing wasn't real. I thought this was like a test they were going to give him. This whole thing was... Am I wrong?
I didn't really
watching
get that.
did you get the impression that, like, this wasn't... They weren't actually going to kill the guy at all? This was like, hey, do you think you're
Do you mean
you're
like
man enough?
they were not going to kill him? Like whether or not he did, the kid did?
My thinking was this whole thing was a test for the kid. Like, in my framing in my brain was like, oh, the kid knows we're in the mob. Let's scare him or do something to make him think, you know, just if he wants to do this. Because who does that to a 12-year-old kid? Apparently these guys. But, like, my frame was like, no, like, this is obviously not going to happen. Bobby's there being like, hey, remember who taught you how to throw the screwball? Or whatever he fucking says. It's not...
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound like he's trying to save his own life. You know what I mean? And then when he gets his tongue cut out, they don't really show it. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's fake blood.
No, I didn't get
Whatever.
that. I didn't get that at all.
Oh, damn. So you thought you legit saw this straight.
Yeah, I was just like,
as is.
Yeah, I thought the kid was. To be fair, I thought the kid was going to kill him. Like that was going to lead us to present day. Like it was going to end with a bullet shot, like a gunshot, and it was going to cut to black, and then it was going to say "Knockaround Guys." And I thought the kids all grown up.
I thought it was going to be he goes to and it clicks because there wasn't a bullet in there, and they'd be like, "Good on you, man!" As they slap him on the back,
actually,
like you passed the test.
The kid was
like it was all fake.
Okay,
like you know what I mean? Like Bobby was just one of them tied up. Like now this is what you do. You know what I mean? I thought that was what it was.
Maybe if we remake this movie one day, we can have that instead. But then the kid still wants to kill him, and like that's the whole thing. He never got to kill the man or something.
Damn. Years later, Maddie is an adult, played by Barry Pepper from Saving Private Ryan, and is currently in an interview. Maddie wants to be a sports agent, which I don't actually know what that means. And he doesn't get the job based off his father's name.
It's funny you say sports agent because I just didn't pick up on that. I guess maybe like I just didn't hear that. But
he says, "I want to be a sports agent."
Does he?
I'm like, this, yes.
Well, a sports agent to me would just be like someone who runs or manages players and their contracts and with their respective teams. You know what I mean? Like each NFL player has a agent that might run other players' contracts and stuff. So like they're the ones who go to the bargaining table and be like, "No, he's worth $65 million."
I guess that's what he wanted to be.
Yeah, I guess.
And it sounded like they were talking about baseball.
Maybe. I for some reason just completely I guess I didn't care.
Damn. I mean, they said team names. I figured you would have picked up on it. But there
know.
was a basketball in the room, so
maybe it was Knicks or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, because he said ball players, and the only way I've ever heard that is through baseball.
Yeah, I don't hear ball players for basketball.
Maybe handball.
You a sports baller? You sports baller, dog?
But he doesn't get the job because basically
he was an asshole.
We kind of learn. I mean, yeah,
that's the one thing I did pick up on. I'm just like, you're not going to get an interview just going in there being like, "I know how to do job. Fuck you if you don't hire me." Basically, like you'll be stupid. Like, no one wants to be called stupid. That's not. Yeah. They do that in the movies all the time where they're like, desperate but like confident guy gets job because he
that shows the mojo to the interviewer, and that's like, oh yes, no, this is exactly
the
drive, the spirit we need.
Yeah. Like,
but he doesn't get the job because the dude is like, oh yeah, your dad's a mobster. Essentially, like, hey, I know your dad's a mobster. Afterwards, Maddie goes to a park where his father, Benny, is playing handball with Teddy.
Is it I'd never seen that sport before.
That was handball.
Handball we played in gym class, and it was nothing like that. Handball is when you pass the ball. There's like 5-on-5, and there's a goal.
Because they mentioned handball earlier.
Didn't they? I'd never seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone knows what sport that is.
So I assumed it was handball.
Let me know.
But the sound effect that was making when the ball was connecting with their hand sounded more like a tennis racket or like a paddle.
I thought it was squash at first because that's a sport you use, or where it's one-on-one and you're against one big wall and you're hitting the ball off trying to make the other person miss. But that's usually with a racket. So I was very confused. I'm like, I've never seen this before. Maybe it's an 80s thing that we don't know about.
I know. But I'm going to assume that they were playing handball. I'm going to assume that's what it was called. Maddie and Teddy talk about his failed interviews, 14 in the past year, and Benny comes up. Maddie hands his father a large wad of cash, and we learn that it's a collection from a business their mob represents. Maddie learns that there's a problem with the mob's cash flow and uses this as an excuse to request that he's given more responsibility in the mob. But basically his dad laughs at him and says, "No,
you couldn't kill that guy when you were 10, so no."
See, they bring that up later, and I'm like, fuck off. Like, who hands a 12-year-old a gun and says, "Shoot this man," and then holds it? You know what I mean? Holds it against them.
And by the way, I'm not saying that that he should be able to do it now.
I mean, he made the right choice at 12.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, maybe don't hold actions of a 10-year-old.
I mean, fuck. When I was 12,
20 years later, or whatever it was,
7th grade. A year beforehand, I went through half of 6th grade with a banana in my backpack. I didn't realize because I stuffed it in there. Kids make dumb decisions. All right. I'm like, I'll eat this banana later.
That's funny.
Oh my god, yeah. Like I was like not doing my homework and I was just shoving them in my backpack. My dad made me empty out my backpack, which I had never done, and all the papers out, and out came this fucking banana. stuck to half the papers. I'm like, how'd that get there? I was trying to play it off. But I turned my shit around and got a Nintendo Wii that year. Okay. So yeah, Maddie walks off in a huff and heads to a restaurant owned by the dad of a friend of his named Tony. Tony. They head into the car, and Tony expresses how he never figured he'd be working a job 5 days a week.
Oh, no.
Yes. Apparently it's rough on privileged boys that have a lot of money, I guess. Lunch and dinner. Oh no, it's like the restaurant's opening hours. God damn.
You're so right. It's like, fuck you, dude.
That's how the business is
so
ran.
far, none of the characters are like remotely like likable. Just like,
yes,
I have to feel bad for you.
The kid was likable for like not killing the guy, but like
not a murderer.
Yeah. Anyway, in the car, they share the same woes about being errand boys to the actual mobsters and punks to normal people. They're not enough of either one. Somewhere stuck in the middle and not being able to be either one.
Malcolm in the middle.
Just like... you should have said Malkovich in the middle.
Malkovich in the middle.
You fucked that up. What I'm trying to say is that's Vin Diesel's shtick in Strays and in Multifacial. That's the theme of those things. Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring it out. But go ahead, fuck up your Malcolm in the Middle joke that you could have made good.
I did. I wasn't even thinking about Malkovich.
Fucking John Malkovich in the middle. Anyway, that's the theme. The two of them meet up with Seth Green at an airstrip. Johnny Marbles is his name, and he wants to get in with the mob. The boys say okay, and we cut to a new scene. Now, driving the shittiest van in the shittiest part of the city, rolling up and looking like he forgot his own car keys, it's Vin Diesel.
Hey, guess what he's driving, though? Do you see what he was driving? What kind of van it was?
No.
Can you guess? What is his favorite car? Or car company, I guess.
Oh, God. This is a quiz. Now,
yeah, are you a true Vin fan?
I would say he always drives American Muscle. I'd say a Mustang, but that doesn't make sense because that company doesn't make vans. Is it going to be... I don't know. I don't know van names. Can I at least guess the manufacturer?
Yeah.
Ford?
No. It's a Dodge Ram.
That's his favorite car company?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, well, you fuck off. I thought this was like a thing that we like learned from the Fast and the Furious or something.
He was driving a Dodge Ram, and I wrote that down. I was like, let me quiz Ethan on it. I don't even know.
I like the 12 takes they have of at his driver's side mirror as he just drives through town.
I mean, he likes his Dodge Chargers, though. That's technically it is his favorite brand, Dodge. Now that I think about it. So I'm like half right, but I'm half joking. I was expecting you to know that.
Putting a crowbar on the dash and leaving the windows rolled down like a motherfucker, Tyler Reese, a.k.a. Vin, heads into a convenience store to start collecting the cash from his gambling machines. Noticing that one of them is empty, he goes to speak to the store owner, who tries to brush Taylor off. Thinking he succeeded, he smiles as Taylor leaves the building, and this is my favorite shot in the motherfucking movie. Because the camera is away from the counter, aiming at the store owner as Taylor walks out, as Vin Diesel walks out. And the camera doesn't move. It hangs there while he's looking smug, like, yeah, I fucking told him what's what. I told him if he doesn't want the money from those machines, he could take the machines somewhere else. And several seconds of silence, Vin charges back in with the crowbar and smashes his machines. Yeah. Yanks the guy out of the booth and beats the money out of him. I'm like, goddamn right, Vin Diesel.
And he says all the lines we were talking about earlier with, like, the potato chip guy gets money or whatever.
Yes.
The beer guy gets money.
I mean, to be quite honest, like, yes, the store owner knew going in he's making deals with dangerous people. But at the same time, if a guy comes in and says, hey, maybe he has to pay a down payment or something, but like, hey, put these machines in your store, you can take half of the money. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Usually, like, these mob movies, too, like, the reason they owe money is usually because of, like, protection. Maybe they're in, like, a bad area or something. so they know like no one's gonna rob them, I guess. But
And
also,
it's also like, hey, we will rob you. So technically, the protection.
yeah, but that's
also,
always like the
you
caveat
know.
is like, oh, they start asking for more money because it's getting more dangerous. There's more cops in the area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I did like that scene a lot. If anything, I think out of all the scenes we've watched with Vin, that might go up there. One of my favorites
In this movie.
I'm saying
or
like
in this-
in our journey so far. Like,
Oh wow.
that reminds me. It has the same energy, just like a little bit more aggressive. To his one monologue or whatever you want to call it in Boiler Room when he's on the phone. Like, it had that big dick energy you love to see.
Okay. Well, later we see Taylor in a bar at a table with Maddie, Tony, and Johnny. Teddy walks in and Maddie says bye and leaves them. We hear small talk at the table, and Taylor expresses the same concern we heard earlier in the car, that he knows he's just an errand boy, a useful one, but one nonetheless. Outside, Maddie and Teddy talk, and I want us to take a step back. He says that line, like, with, I don't want to say it's with such confidence, with such drama to it, that almost doesn't even seem like it was the energy that the room had in it. Where it's like all of a sudden, like, he just had a big, deep thought, and like, oh, damn, David's serious now. Like, are you okay, bro? Like, that was, to me, that was kind of like the thing where it's like,
Yeah.
no, I'll be in his crew if he needs me.
And I think
he
that's-
knows that I'll do the job, but I'm nothing to him. It's like, damn, bro.
Yeah, and
I
I don't think that's even a fault at him. Though.
I don't hate the line.
I don't hate the line. I
But-
don't think that's his fault either. Like, is it? If anything, I would argue that was more on the other actors to not bring the same like, no, I'm tired of this shit energy.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say though, Barry Pepper though. I think for his Maddie character, out of all of them, has the most like I think energy of like.
He definitely has a I'm sick of this shit face.
Yeah.
Half the movie.
Yeah, and then like I don't think until later on he starts getting that energy that Vin has, I think, or at least is portraying. But also to be fair, with the first scene we see with Vin is like this henchman kind of, like I said, big dick energy where he's like, I will get what I need to do. I will get what I need to get. I will fight who I need to fight to get the job done, no matter what. And I think out of all of them, he's definitely I think the one.
That would actually survive in that life.
Yes.
Outside, Maddie and Teddy talk. We learn that the mob has been using that scene when Maddie was 12 as an excuse not to let him in on more responsibility. Teddy tells Maddie their problem, a shortage, and says Maddie will have to convince his father to let him in on fixing that problem. Later that night, Maddie is at his father's super swanky hotel restaurant thing, with a package and meets up with Teddy and his father. And tiny little fun fact, he walks through the area saying hi to all these people. They all know him. He says hi to the guy playing the piano. That's one of the producers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Maddie tries to convince his father, but is denied. He's told that people only do this work when they have no other way to survive, and that he has raised his son with enough privilege and comfort, he sees no real determination in him. Maddie says that he does need this to survive, but I don't think the movie actually proves that, though.
It's like the whole premise
Like,
for him, his drive is just like, I want to prove
not
to
be
my
a pet.
I guess more at the end of the movie he kind of explains it where he's like, my whole life I've been trying to impress you, to be a man, that kind of shit that we've seen a lot in
That was just like Boiler Room. To a
or
degree.
just like I'm trying to prove something to my father, but and then at the end of the day, like the father never asked for that either. Like you don't need to do what you're
mobsters
doing.
are bad people, though, so...
Yeah, but the whole time it's like everyone in the mob's like, you don't have to be in the mob. Like, go do like.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, I mean, like, it's cool, like...
So if anything, he has no one to blame of himself this entire film. Like, everyone gave him the exit.
And
plenty of
he
time.
can blame his uncle, but for killing his friends, but...
Sure,
Yeah.
but he didn't have to
I mean,
get them all involved.
I
for
always
him
did get the
prove his
opinion that the dad wouldn't have wanted his son being in danger.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to, like, make these mobsters like have a bit of humanity in them when clearly they're just bad people.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently we got it. So now Maddie has his mission, where instead he has Johnny do the mission alone because he has a plane. A plane, I might add, that has 2 seats in it. Someone could have went with this, man. Anyone.
Maybe they made it more suspicious. I don't know. He flies all the way to.
He flies like 15 hours.
Yeah, straight.
So if you want an alibi, I'm giving this man company.
Which is funny because when they were explaining it, they were like, yeah, they said it was across borders, but I didn't know. Like, I'm like, oh, they're in New York, so Jersey,
yeah.
Maryland, Pennsylvania, maybe Massachusetts. I'm like, what? Like, they're not going that far, but then they're like, all of a sudden we're in Montana, like across the entire country.
And that was like, yeah, it's funny. Johnny tries to keep a focus, but as 2 to 3 lines have informed us, Johnny is a bit of an idiot and does a line of coke mid-flight. Now
He's an addict.
The scene first shows us drinking a cup of coffee, and he looks a little bit uncomfortable. Do you know why, Devin?
He has to pee.
That was my first thought. I was like, oh, he's gonna make the extra stop because he needed to pee. Oh wait, no, now he's tired. Maybe he's gonna take a nap. No, he does a bit of coke, and he's not actually stopping extra anyway. He's just doing the gas. When he does that wince, my first thought was, oh yeah, he needed to pee. What if I told you that this is my best fun fact for this film?
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you a little-known actor named Vin Diesel put a cigarette butt in the coffee, and Seth Green drank it and didn't know?
When did they show that? Did they show that?
When he's no, they don't show his character doing it.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know the context for this fact. Is Vin Diesel an asshole? Or I don't know. Was this just like, did they not have? I mean, the budget was $15 million. I doubt they're doing catered lunches all the time. So maybe he was drinking some of the coffee, put a cigarette out, and someone said, "Oh, here's a coffee. Drink this."
Huh?
Make the cup empty. I don't know, but yeah. So apparently, Vin Diesel put a cigarette butt out in the coffee, and that's the one that they used for him, and he didn't know. So poor Seth Green. That's just disgusting. In any case, now we get to meet the villains, I guess. The villains were us, the friends we made along the way. We're also the villains.
Yeah.
A sheriff car arrives at an airfield in Montana. Its 2 containing officers enter the building and watch a couple stoners out a window. As the cops talk super seriously about the illegality of marijuana, the kids notice Johnny's plane making a slightly bumpy landing. It's like, I hate this, like, depiction of, like, I don't know if they was trying to ham up the cops, or if, like, this was just the way that marijuana was just so seriously taken.
In the 80s, I feel like it was.
No, at this point, it's modern day. That gambling
that's
machine
right.
was a poker thing with multicolored screen display.
Yeah, so it's modern days.
Like,
I don't
I would
think
imagine this was supposed to be 2000.
But yeah, they were,
1999.
like, I literally wrote, "It's marijuana" with like 3 exclamation marks, just being like, they're like, should we say something?
Now,
Man,
we learned later that it's his kid.
Yeah, but still,
okay,
it's just
so
like,
as a father, maybe you wouldn't want that.
but still, it was very like,
so like, are we gonna?
It wasn't even stereotypical cops. It was just like super over the top like version of what I think a cop would say when they see someone smoking weed.
It's Super Troopers.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's literally
not
what
on
that
my
movie was
watch.
parodying.
I think they would just be like, "Hey, do you see that?" Yeah, I think
It's
that's
literally
what
the
the conversation
opening.
would be.
It's literally the opening to Super Troopers, which is a great film. I wish Vin Diesel was in that so we could watch it for this. I didn't see the second one, which was a Kickstarter. But anyway, as Johnny heads inside, he notices the cops and tries to get rid of his coke. The movie then gets like an RPG's combat transition, and Johnny is now on the phone. It does like the screen like dun 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 dun. It's like that's what it kind of looked like at first. But now Johnny is on the phone with Maddie explaining all the stuff we were about to see, and then it shows us. And apparently that was like a last minute directing decision of like, you know, it'd be cooler if this was like a flashback, but it's not filmed as such.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
It'd be different stuff as soon as he lands the plane now all of a sudden he's on the phone or something. But it's like, you literally didn't cut. You like took the scene of him walking, then decided to put an edit in the middle where it's like him on the phone, and then it goes back as if nothing
right when he
happened.
landed the plane, or right when he spotted the cops in the plane, or something. Like as soon as he sees them, it like maybe does a freeze frame or something, and then it cuts directly to him calling him. He's like, "Hey, I have a problem," and then then it goes. He's like a voiceover,
because it could have been as if, I haven't actually done anything yet. You know what I mean? Like as if he landed, walked to the phone, made the call. But instead, it's obvious that no, all this that we're about to see happened already.
Yeah, or they could have just had the
us.
scene just go normal. You know what I mean? Just like,
Which is, I guess, what they were originally doing. But
I would love to see how that looked, because I think that would have been fine too. Like the
I
audience is smart enough to realize, oh, I see cop. We don't know what's in the bag, but we know it's worth something.
We know he did a line of coke on the plane.
Yeah, he get rid of the coke and he puts the bag down next to the luggage. I think you could show that, and the audience will be smart enough to
Like,
pick
I
up
get
on
Seth
that.
Green is a funny guy, and maybe they just felt obligated to like give him a funny thing.
Give him like a funny story to tell. Yeah,
yeah, but whatever.
I didn't hate it. I just think it was a little. It
It
was a little
just
weird.
All of a sudden, like the screen turns white, and it's like, whoosh. Like what?
There's a couple things in this movie I feel like they were trying to do something and they didn't execute it super well. And I think this was one of those moments where I'm like,
You sure, dude? You sure? I'm sure, dude. You sure, dude? Yeah, I agree with you. Johnny is able to sneak the bag he was given as his mission in a pile of other bags that are to be set and put on a plane. He does so and walks in to pay for the gas, which comes out to be less than $3 a gallon for jet fuel. Whatever.
well, this is a. I was gonna say this is before like oil was, because I'm trying to remember when oil, I guess it was after. Once we got
It's after 9/11.
I feel like every time we talk about this, it, like somehow 9/11 gets brought up. I'm sorry, but I feel like
This film finished production in 99, so
there was a shot
obviously,
of the Twin Towers. I noticed too.
really?
There was one there when he was driving. The main guy there was driving.
Wow, and this film was definitely shown after 9/11 in theaters. So.
Yeah. If anything, maybe that's why they probably kept it in. They've been like, oh, like an homage, kind of, not an homage, but just like a respect thing.
I guess now let's show a plane on fire later in the movie.
To be fair, that'd be a stretch.
I don't know. They changed Lilo and Stitch. But yeah, no, it's 54 gallons, and it was like $140 or something like that. Comes out to be just under $3 a gallon,
Which is still cheap though, even for airplane. Like it's not running on your regular gas; it's running on
yeah. He even says
jet
it's like
fuel or whatever.
100 octane fuel. He says
you're not getting that at your gas
classification.
station, and I doubt it's
Right.
that cheap.
That ain't Diesel. It ain't Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel up in that can.
And in any case, we see the bag get loaded onto the other plane. Johnny learns where the flight is headed and heads there, but the bag is not there. That was a very quick, like, this man followed a plane. And we didn't see that. All of a sudden, he's at another airport. We just see, like, the luggage conveyor and ramp. And it's just like, no, it's not there. Their phone call ends. And Maddie, Tony, and Taylor take a flight to Montana, where Johnny is located.
Billings, Montana, the capital.
Yeah, because Johnny's idea was that, okay, I went to Billings, which is where the plane was headed, and I didn't see the luggage come out of the thing. My first thought would be, let me fucking ask around and be like, hey, was there any untagged luggage on this plane? I'm missing my thing. I would have done something like that, but maybe he would have been afraid that they would open up the bag and be like, gee, there's a lot of money in here, something like that. But like, my first thought would be, it's there, not still at the other airport when you saw it get loaded onto a plane. In any case, his crew, his buddies, are in Montana at that original airstrip. They berate Johnny and head inside to find the bag. The receptionist doesn't have it, so they head into town and make a plan at a diner. Taylor says they just need to find the biggest guy here and beat him up.
Pretty much, yeah.
The boys head to a saloon called the Shamrock.
Oh, but one more thing, though. The cops are following them. The same cops we saw are following these guys.
That's right. He said they're multiplying.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind, because it comes back later that they seem to. You think that the cops like know where they are all the time, but then they don't later on. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, whatever. So they're at the Shamrock, and they wait for their tough guy, and Tony gets into some trouble with their tough guy.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. I do like the shot of when they're standing outside the Shamrock. That's like, I don't know why I like this so much.
That's why I kind of call it a saloon. It kind of looks like that, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like them for like a solid like 5 seconds, all four of them just standing looking at the Shamrock. It was almost like, reminds me of like a comic book or something where like...
Here's the panel.
Yeah, like here's them about to enter, and like it's gonna be hyped. Even though I don't think it was a like super hype after this whole fight, but
it is what it is.
I thought that was a cool shot. There was moments, like I said, where I feel like they didn't execute well, but then I think this is one of the few times where I feel like they're trying to go for like a not an artsy choice, but just like. Hey, this is like, I almost remind me of Quentin Tarantino. I feel like Quentin Tarantino would do a shot like that with like his main characters looking at a bar they're going into or a location or whatnot.
Like standing there and taking sight of it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a couple points in this movie where like they got a little bit artsy with their cinematography. I mentioned it earlier, but when they showed like 7 or 8 takes of Vin Diesel's driver's side mirror as he's driving that van, and it's just like as it's like cutting through them all, it's like that was not necessary at all. You could have just done one of them and we would have understood there's a person in the car traveling.
I think they were trying to do something with it and making it
exactly
spicy.
In any case, they find their tough guy. It's a guy that Tony gets into trouble with, and I don't know if he's the owner, the guy running it, or if he's just like the toughest guy there and they just say he runs the show. It was a bit confusing.
Yeah, I think he was one who owned it. Like I feel like they asked him that and he was kind of like implied that like, yeah, or like he's the main guy in town, like you said. Yeah. And I do believe this, by the way, for someone who did visit Montana this year, and I visited a couple of towns
that looked like that.
Yeah, like there is like 1 or 2 bars, and like that's where everyone just goes, and it's super small. That I feel like, yeah, if you were the main guy in town, you probably would know everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's small enough. Yeah. So I totally believe that this was like. I always like every time I see like small town in movies, I'm like, no way, it's really like that. It is. It is.
Even in the Sonic movie?
Actually, yes. Actually, yes.
In any case, he's their guy, and they decide they'll beat him up. But before they do, Vin Diesel monologues in front of the guy, and it is not that great.
It was a little cheesy, but
it's acted on par with Vin Diesel, but like 500.
I wish instead he said he fought 300
500
dudes.
What?
Instead of him saying I fought 300 dudes, like, and implying that he won. I wish he was like, I killed 300 dudes. Like, I am a convicted felon. I think that just made his character a little bit more scarier too. Like, he was just like, I didn't just fight him. I fucked them up so bad that they're all either dead or
dead.
They're dead or they're like they have like they're like paralyzed from the neck down or something like that. You know what I mean?
Now, like I do like what he was doing though. He was basically verbally intimidating the guy as he slowly takes off his jacket, revealing the classic Vin Diesel white linen. At
this point, it's got to be on purpose. Like I know, like maybe early on they had him just dressed in that, and like eventually I feel like he's like, no, that's me.
I think we just said,
or do you think
Vin
it's
Diesel,
always
you're
been
a tough
him?
guy? I think it's always him. I think there's like Vin Diesel. We need you to be a tough guy. All right, I wear this when I'm tough. All right, that looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Let's just do it. You know,
that's what he's pretty jacked in this film. I mean, he's always pretty jacked, but yeah. I would say he's built in this one. He's lean.
Taylor then beats the man to a pulp. Maddie tells the guy to find their missing bag. We cut to a scene of the stoner kid spending lots of cash, while Maddie is on the phone with his father, getting yelled at. Teddy gets things in motion, and the guy they beat up starts to find the bag. He finds the kids. We cut to Maddie and Taylor at their motel. Maddie tells Taylor about how his dad got arrested. Then the beat up guy shows up and tells them where the money is.
I like how they were watching a hunting show, which they keep showing again, and that's one of those moments again where I'm like, are they trying to like do like a metaphor? Are they trying to show similarity? Like are they the ones hunting the money? I thought maybe they're trying to do that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But the fact that they try to do artsy stuff throughout this film, that I'm like, maybe that was their intent with the hunter guy that they keep watching and showing on TV, is that like, oh, they're trying to hunt down this money and where it is, and they're killers in a way.
But like at the very end, it's like the hunter is also the hunted.
Yeah, but they don't really show that.
At the same time, they did that he's hunting deer and shit.
And
turkeys,
the hunter
so
had,
it's not like
and also that hunter dude was like super goofy. So
gross.
Yeah, and gross looking. So maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But the fact they keep showing it makes me think that that's what they were trying to go for. But I feel like you said, maybe there needs to be a little bit more. Maybe one episode they're watching, he gets attacked by like a bear or something. Like maybe that would, you can use that as foreshadowing or something. So
yeah. Or maybe they're just going to foreshadow that after the movie they would go get turkey.
That'd be
sandwiches.
hilarious if that was the whole Yeah.
The next morning, the crew goes to the boys' house. The cops start to head over, and the kids plan to run off. As the kids leave the house, the cops get there. The sheriff is one of their dads. The crew, at least I think.
Yeah, no, he's like, get back in there, son, or something. He says something like that. And I thought that was a cool twist. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That like, oh, now this makes it more interesting that his son...
Or...
No, the one is definitely the sheriff's son. 100%.
But I wouldn't... Yeah, that's what my impression was when I watched it. But it could just be like, come on, son. That's not like
I
the
read it
sheriff
as
talks.
like... No,
Okay.
like I let you go. And they also adds more to that one scene we saw earlier at the airport where he's like, should we go and do something about this? Like, no,
I'll do it later. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, okay. Oh, and because the thing that doesn't do it though for me though is it's a different house than where he lives. But I guess it could be the friend's house.
Yeah, or they're divorced.
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
Once again, they could execute that better maybe, and I think they could have done more with that too. With the kids, maybe the kids get more involved with the...
Yeah, because they're just gone in the movie from now on.
Yeah, like I wish they actually got involved.
I mean, to be honest, this probably was... In the climax?
No.
They come out too?
That'd be great. They're like, they come out...
We want our money back, dude.
Yeah, we want our money back. Maybe that's how it should have ended, was they get the money back and they spend it more on the little like street racing thing that they were doing, the bobsled.
Oh yeah, that completely caught me off guard, and I didn't realize it was those kids.
Yeah.
I didn't know until later when, like, no, it's them.
They should have been in,
money.
like, a nice car or something. Or they should have been in, like, Europe. Just, like they're like, oh,
yeah,
shit,
but,
we gotta go
these
across.
These are two idiot kids in Montana. What do they have access to?
I guess, yeah.
But, in any case, the crew watches as the cops now have the money. Later, the cops talk about the money, and the sheriff decides they'll keep it. The other cop is not okay with this, but... Just like how there are no good cops in real life, and the system is easily broken by toxicity and power struggles, the sheriff threatens the other cop into taking his share.
I thought the same thing. He's like, no, you're gonna keep this money, because if not...
You're going down.
You're going down. And I'm like, damn, like, this is so relevant to today. Who would have thought?
Yep. The crew beef about what to do next, and go straight to the cops. Maddie plans to intimidate the sheriff, but it goes sideways since the cop is like 2 feet taller than him. The other cop pulls a shotgun on the rest of the crew, leaving this fight to a good old-fashioned Mortal Kombat.
By the way, this was the worst plan. What? Like, they came in unarmed? Yeah. What? No, go in there. They should have first. If he was really desperate, he should have came in there, shot the first cop, and been like, okay, give me the money.
They didn't want to, like, go that route though,
I guess, but still. I mean, but they also knew that they also knew that no one else knew about it, because they said that like the feds would have already been on them.
Yeah, like they could have just stolen it.
Or I would have waited for them to come out of the broken in, or when they left,
jump them. Like, anything better than trying to be like, do you know my father? It's like, fuck off, kid. You're 10 states away or however far.
It doesn't matter. Like, even if it was, even if you were like the president's son, like, what? You're here now. Like, I could kill you and probably be in Canada by the time they come find me. Yeah, this is just a bad plan from the get-go.
Yep, and it ends just as well as you would expect. The sheriff kicks Maddie around, knocks the guy around, and pulls a gun on him, and throws them out.
I like how they threw him out, too. It's just like, go away, you knucklehead. Like, not even like, it just shows how much they weren't a threat to them, too.
So, now that I said Knockaround Guys again, I actually forgot to bring this up earlier. In the car when we first meet Tony, and it's Maddie and Tony, and they're lamenting about how they're not getting respect by anyone. They're in this weird middle space. Tony, I think it was Tony, might have been Maddie, regardless, one of the two of them refers to their father's generation in the mob as Knockaround Guys. Like, okay, that's the movie, haha, pointing at the camera. But Knockaround Guys refers to actually what they are, because Knockaround Guys is a mob term for people that have no ambition or will not succeed. Basically just kind of like grunts, in a sense.
They're just bodies to...
So their parent, like the dad is not a knockaround guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in any case, in the car, they realize that the cops are keeping the money. In the meantime, the cops pull up Benny's file, which is his dad, and now both parties have decided that the other cannot live, or at least the other cannot leave. The crew go back to the airstrip, and Johnny's plane is torched, which is very sad.
Rest in peace, plane. What was that talking plane show? The kid show? I forgot what that was called.
Planes?
Yeah, basically the Thomas the Tank Engine of planes. But I don't know why I thought of that. Just like the poor plane.
Yeah, that was sad. It's the only sympathy Johnny ever gets in the entire movie.
I mean, it is
just at that one point.
He did fuck up royally, but he wouldn't have fucked up royally.
I'm going to defend Johnny right now.
Okay,
he did it 100% correctly. Honestly,
I guess he couldn't have controlled that the bag would have been taken that quick.
Right, he did it when. I mean, like the other people don't know that for certain.
I think he could have held on the bag.
He did everything he should have.
He psyched himself out though. If he was just super cool, the cops I don't think would have ever said anything to him or had the inclination to do anything. Like, what are they gonna do if they find that money? They're gonna be like, "Why do you have all this money?" I'll be like, "I'm rich. I own a fucking plane.
I own a plane." It's actually funny going back to that scene because another bit of trivia I forgot. Our main sheriff there, dude, he forgot some of his lines and improvised them. So that whole time Seth Green was just like thrown off. So like his part of the jitteriness also came from the fact that he now had to improvise some of the lines or try to workshop them into the new prompt he was given.
Huh, that's funny.
In a sense. So it kind of like helped in that sense too. But going back now, again, his plane is on fire. It's torched. It's gone. It's kaput. They're stuck there. The crew go to a gun store and show us another broken system. As the cops ask around town, the crew do some practice shooting, target practice. While there, Taylor tries to get Maddie to leave while he still can, because he knows Taylor has a chance at a life outside the mob work. But obviously Maddie is good for this work, because he's sitting out in the bright sunlight and heat in a leather jacket. Clearly he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. With no sunscreen.
And meanwhile, we see the other two knockaround guys being all yee-haw, tai chi, firing with their guns. Because they ain't cut out for this work. I mean, clearly, Tony wasn't cut out for a 9 to 5. He's a spoiled guy.
Yeah.
Later that night, the crew head back to the motel to find Teddy and his crew already there.
Dun dun dun.
The whole crew make a plan. Maddie makes Teddy promise not to hurt Johnny, and they plan to make the sheriff show himself. It's not necessary, though, because the sheriff calls Maddie, and they plan to meet up past midnight somewhere in town.
Was that was it like a meat plant, butcher?
Yeah, I didn't write down the name. I didn't actually read. I had subtitles on.
I think I wrote it down. I think it was
Diesel's line.
Meat terminal is what it said on the building. So I guess it's just like a meat distribution plant.
Weird.
Meat at the meat.
Meanwhile, Tony and Johnny are at a bar. I guess one of the only bars there. and Tony tries to convince Johnny to run off with him. But Seth Green's supreme acting ability shines his character's commitment to his friends, and he refuses to leave Maddie. He does the right thing. If this was an honorable mob, I guess, that would have worked out for him. As Teddy, Maddie, and Taylor go to the meeting spot, 2 of Teddy's crew members find Johnny. They beat him to make him tell them where Tony went. Johnny tells him he doesn't know, and they kill him.
Rip.
And it was like, just fucked, man. And they stuff him into a car. Tony waits for the bus, gets on, and we see Maddie and Taylor are waiting for Johnny and Tony. They decide that they cannot wait further, and they go to meet the sheriff. Meanwhile, the cops head there too, and they wait inside. Teddy and his crew are already up top watching. I honestly, if I was the cops, I would have scoped the place out.
Yeah.
She's like, what if, because there's 4 of them, what if one of them gets there early, and then exactly like what happens, only 2 of them show up, and they're like, where are your friends? I guess it doesn't matter. You know, what if they're waiting, to ambush you? That was a dumb plan, but, I guess.
To be fair, they owed
sheriff...
They owed the crew a gimme because they came in stupidly to the sheriff's office. So I guess maybe they're like, hey, maybe they're stupid enough not to have this place locked down beforehand. But you're right. I would not have gone into a location. I would have
just because the lights are off.
Montana is mostly empty. Just meet in a field where you could see everybody. Turn the headlights. Or meet with 2 cars. You had the headlights on. That's what I thought it was going to be. And they're like, no, meet at a meat factory. And I'm like, oh, a place where there's going to be tons
with
of
lots
cover.
Of dark corners. Yeah. It's a dumb plan, but whatever. Maddie and Taylor go to walk in, and now we get a standoff. The money is in play, and the first guy they beat pops out and holds Taylor up. Then Tony pops out and shoots the guy. Teddy and his crew shoots Tony after he asks where Johnny is, and now everybody's shooting.
I like how they had the money, it all would have been solved, but they literally almost blew it, including the veterans of the mob. They're like, nope, time to kill him now. I'm like, kill him later. Just once again.
Yeah, why do they need to kill Tony there? Why do they need to shoot
use him for what he's doing right now, which is holding the cop hostage, or killing the one cop and then holding the other cop hostage? Get the money,
at the very least,
and
kill
then
the cops
solve
first.
Whatever you want to do. If I'm them,
yeah.
Just once again, no one in this shootout is actually making smart decisions.
Bad plan. The cops are dead. Tony is dead. All of Teddy's crew are dead besides him, and Taylor has been shot in the shoulder. It's now just Maddie and Teddy. Maddie knows that Teddy was the one screwing over his father. He's the one that was pulling the money, making the shortages. And they shoot, and Maddie kills Teddy. He finally did it. At the beginning of the movie, he couldn't shoot, but he proved to Teddy that he could shoot.
It was predictable. Once everyone was down, it was just him.
Yeah.
And whatever his name was, I was like, okay, he's gonna redeem himself and shoot the real man who screwed his father over. I'm like, this is
the bad practicality of it all. His friends are dead by this guy, and he watched it happen. So why would Teddy be like, no, he's not going to do it? Why would he have that confidence? I get that he was secretly reloading his gun. I get that he was ready to kill him.
He's not 10 years old.
He probably was going to. But, come on, do you really think that's going to work? I don't know. Whatever. I get that, you're his uncle, but, you kill his friends.
Yeah.
Any case, Teddy's dead. Ted's dead. Ted's dead. Ted's dead, baby. Taylor is alive, and the 2 of them get into the car and go home.
I thought he was shot in the neck, honestly, but I guess he wasn't.
It was like
a shoulder, so I thought.
But then he wasn't moving, so
yeah, I thought he got shot at least near the neck, if not the neck, and I'm like, oh, he's dead.
And then, as after Teddy's dead, and Maddie walks over to Taylor, who is now kind of getting up. You see Maddie slump and sit down, and in such a weird way where I thought he was shot, but I guess he wasn't. Whatever. In any case, we're back in Brooklyn. Maddie brings his father the money, and his father tells him he's ready for that responsibility he wanted. He's ready to be in the business with his old man since, like, a good chunk of people are gone now and there's positions available. But Maddie is a protagonist of a film that needs a character arc and growth, and it's no longer what he wants. After seeing what that life would get him, he doesn't want it. Walking out, he and Taylor get into Taylor's shitty Dodge Ram van and drive off.
Dodge Ram van.
The end.
And there was no after credit scene.
Nope, man, I watched the whole thing.
Same. I always do, just in case. Yep.
I was like, oh, I need a pee. Wait, I gotta watch this stupid thing. Yeah. So that was Knockaround Guys.
One thing I forgot to say, I did enjoy some of the soundtrack in this. It was super, like, early 2000s, but I there was a couple songs around. I'm like, okay, it has a little bop to it. Nothing crazy. I don't think it's Resident Evil levels, but for a from all the movies we've watched, I was like, okay, I like this. I like this early 2000s.
Yeah, there was a couple. Was the first song happened when I think it was when Vin Diesel was beating up that guy in the bar, and I went to go search the name so I could write down the name and make it a joke in the notes. So I'm like, it's gonna be too bad. I'm gonna have to, like, scroll back, type out the lyrics because I don't know the name of the song. I don't even know who was the artist, but I did do it. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't Well, I will forget this movie, but I guess right afterwards it wasn't unforgettable.
I did look up the soundtrack on Spotify. There isn't, like, an official one, but someone did make a playlist. So clearly I'm not the only one out there who's like, hey, I like some of the songs in there, but I haven't listened to it yet. So I guess maybe
the fact that you will is shocking enough. In any case, so yes, that has been Knockaround Guys. So after we do one of these on the Chronicles of Diesel, we like to talk about two things and then rank these two things: the movie itself as a whole, as well as Vin Diesel's performance, just his performance. Two separate rankings, two separate discussions. So, Devin, what do you think? I know we've talked about this movie, obviously, as we've gone on, but, like, just as a whole now, what do you think of the movie?
I liked it. I was never really bored, so that's good. Because we've watched some movies where I was like, snooze. Like, I think beginning parts of Pitch Black were kind of like, come on, where is this going?
It's so slow.
Yeah. So I feel like it was pretty like I liked how it opened with, like, hey, this is going to be a violent movie, even though I don't think the movie was that violent afterwards, except till the very end. So it started very violently and ended very violently. So I guess I'm kind of disappointed in that, where I thought there would be more gunfights or at least murder. I guess, I don't know. When I think of a mob movie, I think of a lot of betrayal, and I guess it did have elements of that, but it wasn't until
you think of The Godfather.
Yeah, and it's not till the very end. So I guess I'm a little disappointed in that, but I still liked it, and I feel like there's some fun dialogue. I think the cast was generally all right, to keep me interested with their, like I said, dialogue and their witty remarks or whatnot. So I feel like I liked it. I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again. Maybe it was on, like, TV. Like, it's funny, I have, like, a group of movies in my head. I'm like, this is a great movie to have on when I'm dusting the shelves
on TV.
Yeah, I'm dusting the shelves, or, like, if I'm editing or something, maybe it's like, oh, I need a quick mental break. Oh, I love this scene. Okay, bye. Like, I did like the plane scene with the cops. Like I said, I think it could have been executed better, but I like the idea of it. I think if this movie was directed by someone like, I don't know why I keep going back to this. I feel like Quentin Tarantino could make this movie, like, 10 times better with, like, I'm saying, like, the same plot and everything. Like, some of the elements, I imagine if it was Tarantino, like, the whole Vin Diesel beating up the Montana dude scene, I would imagine just being, like, over the top gory, where he just pummels the dude's face in or something like that.
Can you imagine Vin Diesel in a
Tarantino film
movie by his? Yeah,
I think that'd be awesome. I'm for it.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The one actor it's criminal that he's not been in a Tarantino film is my favorite actor of all time, Matthew McConaughey.
He's not been in one. That's right.
Right?
Yeah. It's interesting.
But now I need Vin Diesel. If he's only
Let's
doing one
get
more film,
Vin Diesel.
I need them both in
Let's
there.
get Vin Diesel. Let's get Nicolas Cage and Matthew McConaughey in a movie where it's just starring them three, directed by Quentin Tarantino. I think that'd be wild.
There we
That
go.
could be insane.
Make it that Star Trek one that he's apparently doing.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think this movie would had elements where it was trying to be artsy, and I think it didn't work every single time. And I think if you just had someone maybe with more experience in that, or someone who likes to make those kind of movies, I think this movie would have been a lot better because of it. I think it had elements that were cool and that just needed to be fleshed out more.
If it had a much bigger budget, for sure.
That might have helped.
$15 million, how much of that went to the cast alone?
Yeah.
I get them. Your main actors are small time.
Vin was probably
small
$2 or $3
potatoes.
million. You know what I mean? Maybe $1 million minimum.
No, not even. No, he did not make $1 million.
You don't think?
Dude,
after Saving Private Ryan, you don't think his price went up?
Not over $1 million.
Okay, maybe.
We need to put this in context. Before MCU made it big, the highest paid actor for a single movie was Johnny Depp for one of the Pirates movies, and he made $4 million, and that was
never mind.
Huge.
I think actors make a lot more than I guess I thought. Still, okay.
He makes millions now, I'm sure. You know what I mean? I'm sure Bloodshot he made over $1 million himself, but as a total, I would imagine
200K.
I don't know. To him, I don't know, to be honest. Maybe.
I mean, I'm trying to think you need enough money to live on for the year. I'm $200K for being in Hollywood.
I can live off of $200,000 for a year.
Yeah, of course,
for sure.
of course, we would. But I'm saying for someone who lives in Hollywood, probably at this point, bought a nice house.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I think this movie had some cool elements to it, and I think it would have been better if there was, like you said, a bigger budget, maybe a different director with more experience. I don't know. I shouldn't say with more experience because I don't know how much experience this director had, but just someone who's had more experience in more of an artsy action adventure mob kind of movie. Because there's been movies I think like this that do a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's been plenty of mob films. I would not say this is in the upper echelon. My opinion on the movie is pretty close to yours. I thought it was very slow and boring in the beginning until Vin Diesel's first scene, and then towards the end when it's the four of them walking around town. But other than that, I'm this is a slow, boring movie. I wouldn't see this film again. I think it was weird that the beginning, again, maybe it was just me, but that scene was totally set up to be making us think it was real, but it actually wasn't. Because why? You know what I mean? Just have him watch Teddy kill the guy in the beginning. That just was really weird. The over-seriousness of the cops, but I get they were supposed to be the villains, so it's okay, fine. I don't know. The film was just a solid okay for me. So
if you had to get a number though, sometimes I know we seem to always do numbers. People like numbers.
It's just so I don't know, man. I guess a 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 6 and a half. I was gonna say a 6 for me.
Well, I guess I'll do 6.5. I don't know. But in any case, let's rank all the Vin Diesel movies we have watched thus far, including this one. So far, for the movies as a whole ranking, number 1 is Saving Private Ryan. Number 2 is The Fast and the Furious. Number 3 is The Iron Giant. Number 4, Awakenings. Number 5, Boiler Room. Number 6, Pitch Black. Number 7, Multifacial. And number 8, Strays. And if you wanted to know our thoughts on all of those films, check out our previous episodes. We go into detail. More detail than we did on this episode, because this movie is pretty forgettable. Which I think leads to where do you think this movie belongs, Devin?
My gut tells me under
Pitch Black.
Either Pitch Black or under Boiler Room. But now that I think about it, Pitch Black had at least, I think at the tail end, was more fun than this entire movie as a whole. So I feel like it'd be under Pitch Black.
It was definitely more creative as a whole.
Yeah.
Even in the artsy shit they tried to pull. Again, I talked about the Sega Dreamcast cover they tried to do.
Yeah.
Walking in the desert. Yeah, no, I agree with you. So I think that
I'm glad that we're so
both...
far. We're both of us have been pretty much like.
Well, we had our one disagreement early on that almost ended in bloodshed, but
I don't know about that. It wasn't that bad, but I'm waiting for us to like run into one where we're just like on the complete opposite of the spectrum. Like I'm just like waiting for one of us to be like.
I thought it was going to happen with Fast and Furious, but we were in lockstep there.
So it's under Pitch Black.
So here is the current ranking now after the end of this episode. Number 1 is Saving Private Ryan. Number 2 is The Fast and the Furious. Number 3 is The Iron Giant. Number 4, Awakenings. Number 5, Boiler Room. Number 6, Pitch Black. Number 7, Knockaround Guys. Number 8, Multifacial. And number 9, Strays. So now let's talk about Vin Diesel. And Vin Diesel's performance in this film. Ignoring all the scenes without him in it, unless context talks about him, which doesn't really happen, I don't think, in this film. He's weirdly, like, the 4th important character of the 3. But at the same time, like, he's also, like, the one that seems to be relied on the most.
And his friends.
Even Seth Green is more important. Tony is given... I want to point this out. The movie's cover, at least for Amazon, doesn't show Tony. It shows Seth Green, obviously, Vin Diesel... And what's his name? That's the lead. Bobby Rice? That's not his name, is it? Whatever his name is. But still, at the same point, to me, as far as acting goes, I mean, like, yeah, John Malkovich did a more than okay job. But to me, the highlight, weirdly enough, is Vin Diesel in terms of the acting. So... to me, I think that has it going for his performance. If he is the one where I'm like, he's the best actor here, he has the best performance here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I actually agree with you. I
him.
think it's funny that like we had this argument. Both of us, I think, agreed, but we had this argument that in the Fast and the Furious, he was the best actor. He steals the show in a way. You can make an argument for this movie that he might not have the most scenes. But in his scenes, I feel like he does a better job than even
I don't think he
even some of the veterans in this film who have been in bigger movies at this point.
Yes. Now, see, for Fast and Furious, we both agreed that he stole the show and ran away with it. Here, I don't necessarily think that he was sprinting in the outfield. I think he stole the show and stood around and let them watch. You know what I mean? I don't think that it was as big of a, no, whoa, what the fuck? Because again... Fast and Furious, he became the lead partially through a deal he would make with Tokyo Drift, but like because it was him, he was the standout, you know, over Paul Walker, who was the main character of that film. So I definitely think that he did a good enough job. Again, that first scene with him in it, him walking in like a motherfucker, beating the fuck out of those machines. Casually throwing the guy that's essentially feeding money into the machines that he would make money off of. You know what I mean? Like, that was very good in and of itself. I think it's one of
It's funny that all our favorite Vin moments are like
the worst movies.
Like these not great movies, but he's like has this one awesome scene that you're just like, yep. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm here for. Like, if you take that out, then the movie becomes so much more boring. Like, I would make the argument with Boiler Room. Like, Boiler Room has some interesting plot points in there and like some drama, but at the end of the day, like if you take out that monologue, I don't remember too many scenes
with him. You know
what I mean?
Well, our current ranking is number 1, The Fast and the Furious. Number 2, Boiler Room. Number 3, Multifacial. Number 4, Pitch Black. Number 5, Strays. Number 6, The Iron Giant, which I think he said 46 words in. Or number 7, Saving Private Ryan, and number 8, Awakenings. This is just the Vin Diesel performance in it. Yes, Saving Private Ryan is better than all the other movies. This is just talking about his performance. If you want to hear why we put that so low, go ahead and listen to that episode. Listen to all the episodes if you want to hear our individual thoughts, our full-length thoughts on Vin Diesel's performance. I don't really know... I definitely think that this is better than number 5, Strays.
I agree. Like,
I don't necessarily want to go ahead and jump and put it number 3, You know what I mean? Because at the same time, I do think Pitch Black was a better Vin Diesel thing than here.
He had more scenes, and I feel like he had some fun scenes.
And again, similar to the Fast and Furious, that was another point where he was not the lead initially, but he stole the show.
And
at least they caught on while filming and realized it.
And in Pitch Black, he's not playing a Dominic Toretto-like character.
Because he becomes Dominic Toretto at the end of this film, teaching everyone else, you know. Even at the end, it's like, so wait a second. At the very end of this film, after Matty tells his father, I'm not going to be a part of your life, you know, I all my life I wanted to prove to you, and maybe I was just wrong and you didn't actually need me to prove anything to you, but that was the impression that I needed to do this, and you know, fuck you kind of a thing, and leaves, tells his father off. Obviously, he's done with that life. He gets in the car with Taylor, and Taylor Vin Diesel is basically like, you did the right thing, like, are you proud of yourself? But like, nowhere does it ever show that he was gonna leave that life. So like, that's just weird. Like, did he leave too? I don't know. That's a weird thought I have.
He once again gets like
that goes into the Dominic Toretto kind of
where
stuff.
He always has like a positive ending in some way, where like
he needs to be like the shaman,
yeah,
of the cast. It's just weird. In any case, I don't think it's better than Boiler Room.
No. I think
to me, multifacial
character. Like I'm saying, like he does a better job of doing what his character needed to do in Boiler Room. But the Fast and Furious
he had
is just
a lot of
so
charisma.
Fun. Like it's just like it's so hard to beat that.
I mean, yeah, he was awesome in there.
Multifacial. We keep going back to like that's like.
I think multifacial. This is why I'm going to say it's not 3, because I think multifacial has too much of a spirit, knowing that it was his entire work. That was his film. He funded. He directed. He made that movie. So you can just tell, like, and everything it does, it just has that spirit of him and that message that he wanted to convey, that he would go on to do for Strays, but he does it better in multifacial. Maybe I totally got the two films screwed up in my head right now, and I'm trying to backtrack, but I think that multifacial is just a better, like, overall Vin Diesel. Everything with him in it, I think, is more consistent. Here, it's like we had a really good scene early on. We had that bar scene where, yeah, maybe you can convince me into thinking that it's the other people were at that table that early on, it's like the second scene with him in it, that don't lead up to the level he's at.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my impression initially was he was at a higher level than what was required. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't matching.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when, you know.
And then all of a sudden becomes lame Dominic Toretto. Not fun Dominic Toretto. Lame Dominic Toretto. Yes, I did like how he pulled out, like, dual Berettas or whatever.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And he's the one that basically kills the two henchmen, like, at once, as I pantomime shooting two pistols. And I do think Pitch Black is just, he has more fun, even though he's also a Dominic Toretto type of character, but it's still more fun than this one.
I kind of disagree with the Dom Toretto Pitch Black. I just think it's more, like, I see elements of it, but I don't think it's as fully there as it is in Fast and Furious, and I think in this movie.
Again, chronologically, if he's evolving that type of person,
yeah,
it would make sense. But...
I was going to say, like,
I don't know, where do you think?
I feel like I want to put it below Pitch Black.
That was what I was thinking too.
But I can see an argument for it being above. It's kind of like, to me, like a coin flip where I'm like...
And it's at the point now where, which movie do I think deserves it to be higher, you know?
Yeah.
Like, which is not necessarily fair, but at the same time, my gut keeps telling me have Pitch Black higher.
I'm like, I'm probably going to watch Pitch Black again. I'm saying in terms of, like, to see Vin, if I'm...
For him.
Yeah. I would watch Pitch Black again over...
I would pirate this movie, and I would just cut only the scene where he beats up the machines.
Just have that on repeat for 2 hours.
That would be the file. That would be the file that would call for the movie. Okay, yeah. But now, do we think it's also better than Strays, Iron Giant, Saving Private Ryan, and Awakenings? I think that Strays is too extrapolating on what he was doing in multifacial and was spread too thin. That was my argument back in the day. And I can say back in the day because it's been months since we've seen that. Literally, even though we're on episode 7, it's been months. And I don't think it was as strong, and I don't think it shows like it's definitely quantity, but there's very little quality.
Yeah, I think there's a tier difference. I think it's like from Pitch Black up, like that's just like a different tier. Like that's like A tier, and then like everything below is this B tier.
And Fast and Furious is the only S tier film that he's done so far.
Yes, because we've become Fast and Furious apologists. They can't do anything wrong.
There's nothing to apologize for, Devin.
You're right. Yeah, I think below Pitch Black. I think let's put it
Okay.
above.
So then
It's like the lower tier. It's like the lowest part of the A tier, I think.
Yeah. All right, so then here we have it. The as of October 1st, Vin Diesel performance rankings is as follows. Number 1, The Fast and the Furious. Number 2, Boiler Room. Number 3, Multifacial. Number 4, Pitch Black. Number 5, Knockaround Guys. Number 6, Strays. Number 7, The Iron Giant. Number 8, Saving Private Ryan. And number 9, Awakenings, where it will remain at last place because he did a 3 millisecond. Like,
I still can't forget it. I bet we're one of the few people who actually know that in this world.
but it's like the fun fact on like all of his like pages everywhere.
I know,
It's
but like if you ask some random people, like, "Oh, did you know Vin Diesel was with Robin Williams?" They'd be like, "Oh, what movie?" And be like, "Oh, Awakenings." They'd be like, "What?" No,
he was in Awakenings. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even know that he was the Iron Giant.
I mean, I didn't really realize it until like before we started doing the show, where I was like looking up movies that Vin Diesel was in. I think it was like right before we started talking about doing this. I remember being like
for real.
I was like, "Oh, cool."
I only knew that because it was a fact brought up when he was casted as Groot. It's like, oh, he's done this type of thing before. He's the Iron Giant. So, in any case, there you have it. Those are our 2 rankings for Knockaround Guys and its placement. Pretty low on the list, I would say. Well, it's smack dab in the middle for his performance rankings, but it's in the lower movies in the overall movies because this was a boring film overall. But yes, any final thoughts you want to say before I wrap us up?
I'm excited for Triple X. I'll say that.
I've never
seen it. And I've heard like good things and like it's a good bad action movie. Like I'm excited for it. I don't know what we're gonna get because last time I'm nervous though because I'm nervous to be hyped for something because last time I was hyped for something that I haven't seen was Pitch Black.
It's Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get excited for the Fast and Furious movies because we've already watched all of them at least once. So
yeah. So next month for November, be sure to have seen Triple X, otherwise known as just XXX. Otherwise known as 30 in Roman numerals.
It's not porn, don't worry.
I mean, it could be. We don't know.
I guess.
To be fair.
Rammstein is in it, and they've had a history of doing some nudity stuff. So,
yeah. In any case, be prepared to have seen Triple X by the time November 1st rolls around on another episode of the Chronicles of Diesel, a monthly podcast that you could find on this very here podcast feed, a podcast that's on a variety of places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, the brand new Amazon Music podcast service, and as well as the Audible app if you use that. We're also on YouTube. You can find our channel there. And we're on a few other podcatchers such as Pocket Casts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and the like. If we're not on a place that you like to listen to podcasts and you have found us, let us know by tweeting at the show, at Sonic Movie Show, which is the main podcast that we do. Also tweet at me at Ethan Absolutely and tweet at Devin at CURSONAU2 and let us know what you think about Knockaround Guys. And while you're waiting, go listen to a couple episodes of our main podcast, Sonic Movie Show. We just did our 50th episode a couple weeks ago. It's a big celebration on Sonic the Hedgehog, believe it or not. That's what the whole thing was about. And we're going to see you next month for Triple X.
Triple X, baby.
I'm Vin Diesel.
What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race. Ride or die, remember?